We've been sort of waiting with bated breath to find out if Joe Biden and the Biden administration are going to make good on one of their oft-time stated campaign promises to eliminate at least some student loan debt. Depending on when you talk to him, there's a different threshold for how much he might eliminate. But we've been waiting and waiting month after month for him to do this. Well, he hasn't so far. I don't know, maybe we've come up with a reason why, because Nancy Pelosi had this to say about President Biden's student loan debt yesterday.
People think that the President of the United States has the power for debt forgiveness. He does not. He can postpone, he can delay, but he does not have that power. That has to be an act of Congress. And I don't even like to call it forgiveness because that implies a transgression. It's not to be forgiven. Just freeing people from those obligations. The difference between the president can't do it. So that's not even a discussion. Not everybody realizes that, but the president can only postpone, delay, but not forgive.
Okay, so we chose to include that weird thing in the middle where she pretends that she has like empathy for the people with the student loan debt as she just goes out. Like, it's an example of that tweet thing of like literally no one, Nancy Pelosi. Oh, did you know he can't actually do it? Like, no, nobody. What are you talking about? How is that your addition to this conversation? And we're gonna get into the actual whether what she's saying is true and give you some reactions and all that. But Sabrina, what did you think about that as that was starting to spread yesterday on Twitter?
I mean, it doesn't surprise me that she would say something like that. I mean, she's worth like what, over $100 million?
Jesus.
But yeah, she is worth quite a bit. But also, I think it was very misleading for her to even say that at all, because that's not true.
Yeah, 100%. Like, we'll get into the politics of it and all that, but also. Well, I think it's fairly clear, it's been fairly well established that here at the Damage Report, we don't like when people I almost swore, when people lie to you about stuff like that. I like it less when they're Democrats, actually. So let's run through a bit of what has been said and what now needs to be said because of Nancy Pelosi. And then we'll get into the strategy of it, the tactics of it. Anyway, Biden has said for a long time that he would forgive $10,000 in student debt for all borrowers and the rest of the debt for those who attended public colleges or historically black colleges and universities and earn less than $125,000 a year. In all, that would slash the country's $1.7 trillion outstanding student loan debt by about a third, according to some people. So that would still leave a ton, but clearly that would be a lot of help for some individuals. It's not nearly as much as what a lot of progressives have been calling for, and even people who aren't progressive. So Senator Chuck Schumer for months has been calling for $50,000 of federal student loan debt to be eliminated. He has repeatedly said that Biden can accomplish it with the flick of a pen. On Tuesday of this week, Schumer, who wore a face covering emblazoned with #CancelStudentDebt around the Capitol, said he believed they were making progress in convincing the Biden administration to act. He said that the White House concerns about the legality of forgiving student loan debt had largely gone away. Quote, "We don't hear much of that anymore." Enter Nancy Pelosi, who chose to the next day restart the conversation. And the White House has previously said that they were reviewing whether it has the legal powers to cancel student loan debt through executive action. So that's Sabrina, that's one of the weirder things about it is like Biden has a fairly well stated position. Much of the debate so far has been how much should be eliminated. To this late in the game, try to eliminate the entire thing, add it to the stack of stuff that supposedly Congress is gonna get to when they haven't even demonstrated an ability to get the infrastructure bill through or the For the People Act. Like, where's the minimum wage increase? Like, yeah, let's just add another thing onto there. There's nothing that Biden can do himself, have no expectations on Joe Biden. That's what it feels like she's doing there.
No, I agree with you. And I just want to ask, are you gonna play the part about the right-wing talking point? Because that was the most awful part.
Why don't we do that?
Okay.
Yeah. Let's just get to that now. So actually, we're gonna turn that in 1 sec. I want to give you the legality, and then because that really gets into, I think, the political conversation and the tactics of it. But Well, the issue with what Nancy Pelosi says is that it is just not generally believed that what she is saying is true. According to the founder of the Project on Predatory Student Lending at Harvard Law School, Tony Merrill, the Constitution gave Congress the authority to control property of the government like debts owed to it. And Congress, Merrill said, granted the Secretary of Education, who works for the president, the quote, specific and unrestricted authority to create and to cancel or modify debt owed under federal student loan programs. Lou Careen of Yale Law School says, basically, it's like the power that a prosecutor has to determine whether to bring charges against somebody. The prosecutor might think that a person has committed a crime, but decide not to bring a case against them for whatever reason. It's a little bit similar actually to the Obama administration's federal stance on marijuana crimes, saying, okay, we're not actually going to change the law, but we're not going to enforce the law. They could, in theory, do that. So again, like, I don't know where she's getting that information. My guess is her butt, but she isn't bringing sources. She wasn't ringed with lawyers who were saying this is the fact. So that definitely bothers me.
And then on top of that, please correct me if I'm wrong really quick, but I mean, during the Obama administration, they were able to like change the way that student loans work. So that way they had to like cut out the middlemen of banks. Yes. So that way it would only be more of like a government thing. So that way the government would get that money. So it's like you can change a lot when it comes to student loans. The president can. So that. Yeah.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.